Now, denying terror charges, Pakistan's Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi said that India should come up with proof to back its allegations against Islamabad. Let's listen in to what Shah Mahmood Qureshi had to say.
हम जानी नुकसान के कभी हक में नहीं हैं, हम वायलेंस के कभी हक में नहीं हैं, न कल थे न आज हैं। हम अपनी सरजमीन को दहशतगर्दी के लिए इस्तेमाल कभी नहीं होने देंगे। ये हमारी वाज़े पॉलिसी है, हमारी हिकमत अमली है, और अगर हिंदुस्तान के पास सबूत हैं तो हमसे शेयर करें और हमारे साथ तावन हम देने के लिए तैयार हैं। इल्जाम तराशियों से न पहले कुछ उन्हें हासिल हुआ है न आइंदा होगा। हमें उनके जानी नुकसान पर सदमा है, हमें सदमा है। मैं उन फैमिलीज के साथ इजहार ताज़ियत भी करना चाहूँगा और करता हूँ, लेकिन ये नी जर्क रिएक्शन जो आया है बगैर तहकीक के, जो इल्ज़ाम तराशियाँ शुरू हुई हैं, इस पर मुझे बहुत अफसोस हुआ है। उन्हें सियासत से बालातर होकर सोचना चाहिए। इलेक्शन आते जाते रहते हैं, लेकिन खित्ते का अमन और इस्तेहकाम जो है उसको फौकियत मिलनी चाहिए।
And needless to say, India has strongly condemned Pakistan over the Pulwama terror attack. This after Islamabad denied any involvement in the attack, even as Pakistan-based terror group Jaish-e-Mohammed claimed responsibility for the ghastly terror attack. The Indian Foreign Ministry released a strongly worded statement rejecting Pakistan's lies and calling it out on providing safe havens to terror groups. The ministry said, and I quote, "The Jaish-e-Mohammed and its leadership are located in Pakistan. LET and other terror groups have welcomed the news of the attack. These groups are also based in Pakistan. Pakistan cannot claim that it's unaware of their presence and their activities. Pakistan has not taken any action against these groups despite international demands, especially against groups and individuals prescribed by the UN and other countries. Pakistan's own ministers have shared the same podium with UN-proscribed terrorists." And to bring us more details and add perspective, let's quickly go back to our principal diplomatic correspondent, Siddhant Sibal, joining us live from New Delhi. Siddhant, what do you make of Shah Mahmood Qureshi's latest comments coming in after that extremely cold and calculated press release that Pakistan shared yesterday? This indeed is again a very defiant stance. Be it the Parliament attack or the Mumbai terror attack, India has already been presenting dossiers after dossier. Till when will India keep presenting evidence?
Pakistan clearly in a denial mode, something it has been for not few years but for many years, perhaps for last 70 years. As you rightly mentioned, India has given evidence, whether it's the Parliament attack, whether it's 26/11, Pathankot, Uri, and now this major attack, and Pakistan says they want evidence. JEM people came out with videos. We all have seen those videos. Of course, we will not put those videos on television. They claimed it. They boasted about that they did this dastardly terror attack, and Pakistanis need evidence for that. Clearly, the deniability world continues. Of course, India has slammed Pakistan. Immediately there we saw a release late last night around 12 a.m. The release came out lashing out at Pakistan that why does Pakistan needs evidence? The evidence is on their face. Secondly, Pakistan said that they are looking for a constructive approach. Yesterday, the Foreign Secretary, the Pakistani Foreign Secretary, briefed the P5, the permanent 5 members, the ambassadors in Islamabad about the developments, but about the constructive approach. Yes, they are saying that they want dialogue, but dialogue on one side and terrorism on the other side. The ministers from the current government, the interfaith minister, the minister of state in the interior ministry, they have been sharing dais with Hafiz Saeed. They have been openly saying that nothing will happen to Hafiz Saeed. The PTI, which is the party in power in Pakistan, their members are opening offices of Hafiz Saeed in POK publicly in media clear,
right.
And then they say they don't support terrorism. Of course, Pakistan will not change, and this time India is very serious, and the start of the entire diplomatic isolation has started, but we will expect more action from New Delhi.
Also, Siddhant, it's important to talk about Pakistan's direct links with these terror groups, because let's not forget, American experts have also pointed out to the fact that, ISI could also have a role in day before yesterday's Pulwama attack. Not to forget, as you rightly mentioned, that most of these politicians in Pakistan have shared the dais with these terrorists. It's important to talk about how Pakistan government and the army's link with the terrorists is an open secret.
Well, it's an open secret, and it's the deep state which is taking all the action. Well, there are two faces of Pakistan. One, the sophisticated face, which is the Western face, Imran Khan, who goes around, says he wants dialogue, he wants peace, something that is made for the West. Another is a person like Shah Mahmood Qureshi, who on a daily basis makes anti-India comments. It's not yesterday, it's all on a daily basis he's making anti-India comments. He went to London on 5th of February to take part in an anti-India event. The foreign minister of Pakistan was in London and could not meet the foreign secretary of United Kingdom. Clearly, India's diplomacy had already started to work. It started to work after the Uri attack, when we saw India, along with most of the South Asian countries, boycotting the SAARC summit, something that really hit hard in Islamabad. Islamabad is still trying to make sure that SAARC is revived. But SAARC is revived for what? For Pakistan to play its own diplomatic norms to make sure that it's not isolated. Well, even as we were speaking about diplomatic isolation, there were pictures being floated by the Pakistani foreign minister with Shah Mahmood Qureshi, with the foreign ministers in the Warsaw summit, which is taking place, where India is also representing. But Pakistani diplomacy works on photographs, it works on propaganda, it doesn't work on hard facts. Unlike Indian diplomacy, which also works on hard facts, but also on making sure that the people for which they work are benefited, unlike the Pakistani diplomacy, which works for the Pakistani army.
Absolutely, very rightly said. Some very, very hard facts actually Pakistan needs to present to India instead of expecting India to provide it with evidence. A lot of answering to be done by Pakistan at the moment. Thank you so much, Siddhant Sibal, for bringing us all the latest on this news story. Now, almost 48 hours after the deadly Pulwama terror attack, the Indian government will be holding an all-party meeting today at 11 a.m. and these are the latest visuals that we are getting in. It's a first-of-its-kind meeting, and Prime Minister Modi's government will be taking consultations from the opposition as well as allied parties on India's future course of action on terror. The meet, which will be chaired by Prime Minister Modi, will be held at the Parliament Library. Home Minister Rajnath Singh will be briefing opposition leaders on the worst attack on the security forces in Jammu and Kashmir. This comes a day after the Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Union Ministers, opposition leader and the chiefs of the armed forces paid homage to the 40 CRPF personnel who were martyred in the line of duty. And as we salute the martyrs, we share a list of those who lost their lives during this dastardly Pulwama attack that took place day before yesterday at roughly 3:15 Indian Standard Time. Earlier, Rahul Gandhi, the president of India's main opposition party, the Indian National Congress, vowed to back the government. Let's listen in to what the Indian Congress president had to say.
That the aim of terrorism is to divide this country, and we are not going to be divided for 1 second. No matter how hard people try, this country and the entire opposition is going to stand together. We are going to stand with our Jawans, and we are going to stand with the government.
The bodies of the martyrs will be flown to their respective states today. At least 40 personnel were killed when an explosive-laden vehicle rammed into a Central Reserve Police Force convoy. Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terror group had claimed responsibility for the suicide attack. The last such meeting was held in September 2016 after the Uri attack.